There is a story about the Bidens that I previously didn't think would make a difference that I now do think will make a difference in the 2024 election, and that is Navy Joan Biden. Navy Joan Biden is Joe Biden's 7th grandchild. Navy Joe Biden is Hunter Biden's daughter. Hunter Biden fathered this young girl with a stripper in Arkansas, and he has denied paternity from day one, even after the court established that Hunter Biden was, in fact, the father of Navy Joan Biden, this beautiful little girl. Hunter Biden has tried to deprive her of any familial connection to him. He actually went to court. This is so evil. He went to court to try to deprive her the use of his last name, to say she shouldn't be named Navy Joan Biden because Hunter wants to deny her. He doesn't want her. He's pushing her away. He's trying to abandon her. And he has the gall to do this publicly. Even though he's in the public eye, the story's in the public eye, this little girl is now in the public eye. I mean, you and I know her name. Bet you can't name any other grandchildren of Joe Biden's. I can think of like one of his granddaughter's name because she lives at the White House and got married at the White House. Otherwise, I don't care what the names of his grandchildren are. But Navy Joan Biden is now a public figure because her father is trying to disown her publicly, and he's willing to do this in public. For a while, and this is where I changed my mind, I thought, you know what? I'm not sure that this matters because Hunter Biden is he's a literal crackhead. He's corrupt to the core. He's possibly committed not just illegalities when it comes to taxes and firearms, but I'm talking law breaking to the point where maybe he violated if you lobby for a federal government, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, he's probably in violation of that. He's like a borderline traitor to our country, selling access to the White House just for money to foreign entities that want what's bad for us. They are hostile to our values, to our nation, and to our families. And I thought, well, listen, if those things haven't made a difference in the Biden administration, then maybe this Navy Joan granddaughter story doesn't. And I realized that I was wrong for two reasons. I realized that my calculation was a miscalculation because of the reaction from the public, including from Democrats, to this clip. This is White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre responding to a question about Joe Biden's 7th grandchild.
There was a story in the New York Times over the weekend about Hunter Biden's daughter in Arkansas. Does the president acknowledge this little girl as his granddaughter?
I don't have anything to share from here.
So the response to that video was very interesting to me, and I thought, well, maybe I've miscalculated this. Maybe I have underestimated the public's reaction to this. And my conclusion is that, yes, I have underestimated the reaction. And the reason that I underestimated the reaction is because of what we started talking about 7 minutes ago when we started this show. We started talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story. And I realized, you know what? The American people, including Democrat voters, actually do care about corruption. They do care about Hunter Biden's immorality and his criminal behavior. It's not that they have dismissed this. It's that the federal government, the intelligence apparatus, which has been compromised by radical leftists, and big tech, which is also run by radical leftists, stifled that. So it's actually not that Hunter Biden is not an effective attack on Joe Biden. He is a very effective attack on Joe Biden because people care about corruption. They care about lying. They care about cashing out. They care about him being a crackhead. They care about him abandoning his daughter and doing it publicly, trying to deprive her his last name. The mainstream media, the corporate media, and big tech have just censored this at the behest of the intelligence community, which rendered it did kind of neuter Hunter Biden for the 2020 election. But if the media, at the behest of the intelligence apparatus, has not neutered this story, people will care about it. And the reason people care about Navy Joan Biden, and I will call her by the name that she deserves and not the name that, it's the name that Hunter Biden's trying to deprive her of, but it's her rightful name. The reason that people care about this, while they don't care about Joe Biden's age, even if they say like, oh yeah, that's weird, I don't like that, it's time for a new generation, it's not going to change their vote. The reason this might change their vote is because while they don't have a visceral reaction to Joe Biden being old, they just kind of feel embarrassed or annoyed about it, they do have a visceral reaction to seeing this little girl deprived of her father.